Metal Baboonery movie review 5. I haven't even edited 4, but he's 5. And because it's 5, it's going to be 5 films, sort of. Now when I mean sort of, I'm having a bit of a mental breakdown because I've just finished editing 3 with Shin Godzilla and all that fucking penetration by Turkey kind of references and Thomas the Tank on crack cocaine. And piggy, yes, Annie, piggy, grace my palm with silver. The reason why I say maybe it's 5 because I haven't edited 4, which I'm sure was Baywatch, the Antonio Banderas Automoto or whatever it was called. I'm not sure if I even mentioned or I did the review for Welcome to the Jungle. And I'm not talking The Rock and Sean William Scott in Welcome to the Jungle, the one what's called The Rundown everywhere else in the UK. That's why a lot of people in the UK has been confused about Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Was it a sequel, Welcome to the Jungle, with Jumanji on the twist, or what the fuck is it? I have seen Jumanji 2. Yes, Jumanji 2, or technically 3 if he keeps a full in there. Yeah, it's a sequel, it's not a remake. Check it out, it's worth doing it, but that's not a review about that. I've wrote a review about that. Involving, I should have actually filmed that tonight. It's a rant about cinemas, but I'm enjoying going to cinema. I don't get myself barred from the local cinema, but death of the cinema. I wrote it, technically. Yes, this is Baboonery, no script, no budget, no fucking censorship, fuck it, just rant. The only thing what's going to stop me ranting tonight, and probably the camera angle changes, that camera battery is about to flash. Fucking idiot. So yeah, Welcome to the Jungle, was it in the last one? I don't know, but quickly go through it. Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle, gut-wrenching. It's a found footage film. Does not look like a found footage film whatsoever on the back at all. Made for a couple £100,000, filmed around Fiji area. Basically it's about two best friends meeting up after years, and they basically want to go on a bit of adventure. One girl seeing a guy from the bar, they meet another guy from the bar, and they decide to go on this adventure looking for this long lost guy. Attacked by the clown there. Yes, the clown hasn't been seen for a while. I'm not talking about that clown in the woods. I'm talking about, I mean, it's an American president, bottom corner right there. It's his initials, his name. It's like Jimmy Hoffa when they talk about him in The Predator and every other film where they keep Jimmy Hoffa, the myth of Jimmy Hoffa. Who the fuck is Jimmy Hoffa? I'm British, technically, sort of. And it's an American reference to a lost president's son who went missing around the Isle of Fiji. Presumed eaten by cannibals, but also the theory that he also is seen as a god between the tribes and he's the god leader. I definitely don't think I've reviewed this by this rant what's about to take place, but yeah, it's a found footage film, camera 1 and camera 2, and I just looked at another camera over there thinking that camera should have been filmed, but whatever. Yeah, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, hello, you know, that's what's going on right now. So they have two cameras, am I in the same shot? So they have two cameras, but you only see one camera, so let's go back to this camera. So you only see one camera for a while, and it shows you the story of friendships, and this is where it gets a bit confusing, because they've got two cameras, but there's a scene on the pool table. Now, everywhere in the world I've been, there's 6 potlets in pool, unless you get one of them arty-farty angle ones, but there's a two-way conversation going on there. And there's a lot of conversations going on there. I am back on this one. The audio's going to be all over the place, but anyway, you know, it's been filmed to capture as much content as possible in camera. If you mean found footage films, you should be missing bits. There should be some proper potholes, plot holes, because, like, you know, not everything's captured on camera. It's like, oh, what happened there? And it's just like, well, fucking, if you're not there in the room explaining it, like the story of my life, then you fucking don't know what's happened here. That's what happens. There's a lot of great angles, great shots, too well done for a fucking found footage film. But yeah, it's basically like, this is going to be absolutely perfect because that camera's about to go off and this camera's still rolling. But yeah, they go all the way to Fiji and basically the friends fall out and the new girl, her best friend goes off with this new guy she's just met and starts acting like a complete dick. And basically they get, you know, basically what happens is, I mean, it's beautiful, don't get us wrong, it's absolutely beautiful, but then they meet some cannibals, so you can guess what's going to happen. It's like Green Inferno all over again, Mighty Morphin more. They're not Mighty Morphin looking coloured Power Rangers. Fuck me, what was that meant to mean? I meant reference to Green Inferno there. Yeah, they're proper sadistic cannibals who have great camera skills, and you think, how did this camera even get found? But if you like your Hostel movies, if you like your found footage films, it is up there. It's well made, but then there's scenes where you think, come on man, that is too perfect angle. Someone's award-winning cameraman is a fucking daytime fucking bartender. It's one of those things where it's worth watching. I definitely don't think I reviewed this. It definitely didn't do it like this. This is too confusing. That camera's going to go off and this camera's going to get repositioned, plugged in. So yeah, that was the first film. This will be a 5 movie review. Welcome to the Jungle. It's only 15. It is quite grim when shit goes down. But yeah, as I say, be warned. Possibly the most terrifying film in the last decade. From the producer of The Terminator and Aliens. You know. So yeah, comes with a director's comedy, which is interesting as well. But yeah, if you like your found footage films, definitely check it out. Camera angles changed, camera's plugged in. Did forget to mention, I've actually been to Fiji. Okay, it was on the detour to New Zealand. You know, when I'm thinking when the first time I went to New Zealand was 1995, and there was like 5 stops with no televisions or anything like that, no interactions. It was just doop, 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 like hopscotch all the way in New Zealand. And one of the stops was the Fiji. So yeah, I've technically been to Fiji. How awesome's that? I also was going to show you Welcome to the Jungle, but there's a shelf there, and Welcome to the Jungle's underneath there. Yeah, I've started building shelves out of VHSs and DVDs. Naughty, naughty. So anyway, first up in this movie review probably is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No, it's not. It's a Chainsaw Massacre. Right. Leatherface is over here. Leatherface has chopped his chainsaw. That's going to go down really well, isn't it? Okay, there's Leatherface right there next to Idle Hand and Ducky Ducky. Right, I picked this up, and I've been confused about this for a while, right? So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a cult classic. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has been absolutely tremendously restored by Arrow, but it is a fucking well disturbing film. Toby Hooper, God bless your soul. Like, stuff were like, oh, it was like Toby Hooper, Life Force is amazing, another great Arrow restoration. Eaten Alive. Oh, or Death Trap, whichever way you want to call that film, is amazing. But then you see films later on in his career like Crocodile. What's that about? But, like, Toby Hooper, you know, great at that. Then great Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, 10 years later when Dennis Hopper comes along looking for trying to track down the family and that. Then there's obviously Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Then there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre The New Generation, which has Matthew Connelly in, and Bridget Jones, and Reese Zellweger. And like, you've got that. Is that the original 4? Now I asked Killian this, and he was like the 7 or 8. So I'm trying to work out in my own head how many Texas Chainsaw Massacres there is. So you've got that. You've now got the new one that came out called Leatherface, and it actually has a film which is technically Playing with Dolls 2. They called that Leatherface, and that actually got recalled. Me and I wrote a massive rant about that. It might be something I want to revisit, because that film is actually pretty rare as fuck now, because it literally had shelf life about a week before it was pulled because Leatherface was coming out. Leatherface did not get a UK release on Blu-ray, which is strange. So again, that could be an origin story to this. We then had the Michael Bay with Platinum Doom's thing, when they did sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they did the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And then we had Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning. So I thought this was cashing in on the 3D originally, and this is obviously Texas Chainsaw 3D. And I put this on thinking this was a remake. I was like, how many more remakes do you want? You know, a group going down the old country roads, take a detour, and hey, welcome to the Psychos. It's not. If anyone hasn't seen this or know what it is, it's for so far people either love or hate this, but I actually like this actually. It's a 4th film. It's a reboot. It's a sort of spirit. It like forgets about the whole Dennis Hopper thing. It's a direct sequel to the original movie, sort of in this generation. And one of the actor guy who plays actually Leatherface in this. Yeah, Trace Elton, he's not the rapper. One of the people who appears in Killian's books in this, I do apologise. He does play Leatherface. Might be Bill Moseley, might be Tom Barry. He's in there, but Paul Ray's in this. The guy called Paul Ray, not the movie pop guy Paul Ray. I absolutely pissed myself when I came up the screen at the start. Paul Ray, I was like, fuck me, Paul Ray, you're in the Chainsaw Massacre. So, this movie starts and gives you a recap of the first film, uses the original footage, and also uses the original filters and tries to stay true to the original, and sort of a generation gap. And it's set years later, makes up its own little like crash course of what could happen or what happened in the aftermath of the original movie, and basically sets its own story up. Now, the story in this is the family members survive. Theodore, Leatherface, Timmy, survives, and a baby survives, and years later the baby finds out she's inherited this massive mansion, and when she goes to find it, she gets an important letter to read, and she goes down with her friends, but she gets this important letter to read about the house, but she doesn't read it. So when they get in this house, you know, they all go wandering around, go, "Oh, look at this big house," and guess what? Someone's like lives downstairs. Definitely should have read the letter. The lawyer said read the letter. But it's got a good story. I mean, a lot of murder happens in the foyer of the kitchen, this dark room you shouldn't go down. But I thought the idea was good. It was a great resurrection of a story, of an icon. It was grim, it was brutal, used the 3D. Where 3D should be used more like in your face and all that, yeah, chainsaw's going to go past you like that, okay, I get you. But there was a lot of stuff done in quite deep shots as well. And Leatherface is just mental, you know, running around like, rah, in the woods and all that. But it humanised him a bit as well. You know, you feel like kind of, I think I borrow a little bit from Devil's Rejects, the whole like killing up the house and all come back for retaliation. But the idea, I mean, the lead actress actually is in Baywatch. It's the same guy. She's got beautiful eyes here. Eyes of a psychopath. And if you haven't seen it, I mean, I did enjoy this. It sort of humanised Leatherface a bit as well as a character. And so it really gives you, like, this family is absolutely fucked up, doesn't it? You know, the whole generation thing. This is another generation. It was filmed well. Had a great, good commentary as well. But yeah, I was totally impressed by this. It was Megan as well when it was correctly gets yourself to the new face. And I'd watched that, then I went out and bought my new Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero pop vinyl, and I had to play on Mortal Kombat X, and I had to be Leatherface, and I had to start like literally killing people as Leatherface on Mortal Kombat. I really enjoyed the film that much. So if you haven't seen it, it is a spiritual sequel or a fourth one to the original franchise. It's not a remake, it's not its own kind of thing. It is worth checking out. Leatherface. I bought Leatherface, I bought Jason. I've decapitated Jason. His arm fell off this week. And I broke Freddy as well. I love that series, there's Freddy's Claw. I need some glue. I need to go back to Steel Town and get them to fix my shit. Definitely check out Branches when it comes out, my new movie. We had to fix a load of models, thanks to Matty Connor. Hey, let's just get this matched up.
That's long Gorilla Glue. I'll show you the bottle.
Advertisements.
Aye. That takes ages. That's like 24 hours, that, and this is like 10 seconds. That's what I'm like in bed.
And also, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, released by Arrow, is definitely needed in your horror collection, either in the Arrow or your horror. That film looks absolutely amazing. And if you can pick up the special edition one, which I've actually got, you can get Toby Hooper's earlier works as well. It's a beast of a box set, but that is totally worth having in your Arrow collection. Next up, I forgot to borrow something off Annie. If you look at Annie's house, you can never tell the difference between mine and Annie's house. Annie has the original Tekken sitting on a shelf, so what's there? It's one of her favourite games as a child. And mine as well. I remember when Tekken was one of the first ones that came along. Like, wow, look at that! What the hell's wrong with Paul Phoenix's hair way up there? Who is that King? My God, King does wrestling moves. Wow, win, win, win. I mean, Tekken was a groundbreaking game at the time. Everyone couldn't wait for Tekken 2, then Tekken 3 when Jin Kazama came along. And, you know, Tekken 4, and then 5. The characters just got more and more metal, and the storylines at the end where you used to play through, especially when you played the original Tekken, where you would play through it just to get who the secret character was, and the endings were always fucking over the top. Fucking people going to space, fucking pandas, fucking kangaroos with boxing gloves, who was definitely in Streets of Rage 3, Roger, the kangaroo. But as history repeats itself when it comes to fighting games, Mortal Kombat was amazing. You know, the ground they kept it. You know, they kept the same format. It's blood sport. I think that's one thing Mortal Kombat doesn't get enough credit for. It's blood sport in Mortal Kombat, and it looks at tits. Street Fighter. I had to think about that there. Street Fighter. Jean-Claude Van Damme should have been in a Mortal Kombat. Jean-Claude Van Damme should have been fucking Johnny Cage. They should have just done that. I don't know what Street Fighter is. Street Fighter is if you drop crack, drop acid, you crack cocaine, snort cocaine. I don't know, fucking insert rocket fuel up your bum and light it. I don't know what Street Fighter is. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure. I've seen it in the pictures. It is absolutely off its tits. The idea of doing a Tekken movie, I mean, it'd be massive in Japan, it'd be massive over in the Asian market. These are well-loved characters. But where do you go for? Where is the story? What the fuck is Iron Fist really? Can you really have a panda? Where the fuck's my panda? My panda. This is my panda. Can you really have a panda in it? Corn dog track.
I am the fucking corn dog. You're making K double sheets. Get the fuck off my panda.
Get off my panda. Hey Luke. Our panda's from Twisted O'Malley. Awesome, guys. I should really get a t-shirt. Sorry guys, it's on the cards anyway. So Tekken comes along and who's in it? Jin Kazama's in it. Okay, the Kazamas are Heihachi and Kazuma and names you can never pronounce or get right. That family, that completely fucking mental family, that family who always fall out and chuck each other into volcanoes and into space, that family. Grounded It Down has a bit of Running Man era going on there, where this one they're fighting to supremacy. It's like Mega City 1, everyone lives in big population areas, Running Man kind of style entertainment. The fighting in it though, it's just sort of like, what the fuck happened there? Starts alright, long time coming, like fucking good heavy metal song, Jin Kazama free running through the place. Pretty cool, I enjoyed that. Grounds him as a character. And then he gets to go in the fight in the tournament, it's big flashy, big like, a bit like Rollerball was, where it's OTT and all the different camera angles and kind of stuff like that. The fighting was far too fast, signature moves are not really there. It's just over the top, it wasn't brutal enough. And then you want to talk about characters, Paul Phoenix apparently got knocked out, it's over the radio. Marshall Law's in at the start as a bit of a bad guy. Mortal Kombat, the lead actor, Eddie from Rising Sun, been a bad boy, Eddie. He's been in loads of films. Let me carry him, him right there. Where's Rising Sun at? You know his face, he's been in loads of films, I do apologise. I don't even want to try and butcher your name. He plays Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat. Brutality, flawless victory, him there. And he plays Heihachi in this. It's like, is anyone else available? But you could have got Patrick Stewart, he's got the same hairstyle. I would have the same hairstyle if I let it grow. But like the same actor playing the same roles. It's like the guy who plays Kung Lao. I'm sure he's in is it the second Street Fighter? I'm sure he's in the second Street Fighter. The Chun-Li movie. Like what the fuck really? I don't know. Rant. But anyway, there's no king, there's no Armored King, there's no Panda. There's the Jax. They use the Jax as a robot, fair enough. Luke Glosser's in this. I mean, Luke Glosser does a lot of low budget stuff, but is quite an established actor, especially in the world of Del Toro. He plays Steve Rogers, who's the boxer. So, the Nina Williams are in, but I mean, Eddie Gordo's in, and a lot of the newer generation stuff there. So, the fighters are chucked in there. I mean, Raven's in it, the guy who's definitely the white version, technically wears white, of Blade, So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. They don't use most of the characters. I mean, Yoshimitsu's in it for a bit, anyway. Comes in with his sword. But yeah, it's. I mean, there's a sequel which I haven't seen yet, and a lot of the cast have returned. I think Gary Daniels is in. This is Brian Fury. There's another guy who came along later on in the series. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, I mean, it's a job of watch if you don't know what Tekken is. But if you don't know what Tekken is, it's sort of like it's very fast paced. It's been grounded down so someone could probably follow it. But to me, this should have had a lot more fighting in it. A lot more. You didn't need more characters. You needed proper nitty gritty like blood sport. People should just look at blood sport and like kickbox and stuff like that. That's what people like. The fighting. It's like what they do with the Undisputed franchise, where they have these big fights, and people like to see fights. It's like people like to watch wrestling. People like to watch UFC and stuff like that, but you might watch someone cuddle for 5 minutes. I know that's going to get me a lot of hate, but that's the thing about wrestling. It's choreographed to make you be entertained, and that's what you should see in a movie when it comes to a fight. You want to see great camera angles. You want to see like people. You want to see a stunt guy just go, "Yeah, I'm a stunt guy. Kick me in the face, please." You want to hire people like Scott Atkins and stuff like that, and Jean-Claude Van Damme in movies, and give them freedom to have some really good fight scenes. So on that note, I did enjoy Tekken, but I wouldn't recommend it because Mortal Kombat still stands up as strong. Tekken should have borrowed a lot from Mortal Kombat. I will watch the sequel when I eventually find it somewhere. But yeah. Watch? No. Play the games? Definitely. But no. Not with the film. Right, next up, I watched this last night and I wasn't even planning on watching it. Annie was like, we're watching this, and this film was Blue Valentine, starring Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams. I thought I was in for a Notebook here. I haven't seen Notebook, but that looks just like the cover for Notebook. Now, I had seen this and put it on, and bearing in mind, me and Annie's histories are a bit similar, and I watched this and I was like, man, this is quite a dark, depressing film. It is well made, don't get me wrong, it is well made. It's very dark. It's very close, like really close. Me not getting close to camera, but like close. Story is about a couple struggling in their marriage. They have a small child, their dog gets knocked over, and it's heartbreaking things like that what makes this film so grounded. It's everyday stuff that comes along and tests your marriage, tests your relationship. It's where where lust comes from, and like first attractions and prolonging love. And this film shows you how it doesn't take something massive to happen for stuff to go wrong. It tips away at it, and this is what this film really does really well, but it also has a little bit of a flaw. Now this film cleverly jumps around where it'll explain the past a bit, and it's great how it suddenly jumps to the past and you go, oh, it's a past, and that's how, you know, it doesn't warn you that it's going to do this. It sort of like, it'll stop and it'll go, and you think, oh, why did he just stare at the camera? Why did he just break that fourth wall? Like, hi, what's going on? And it's because it obviously goes back and it shows you later on of how they met and how the relationship from the very get-go was a little bit strange, but they had a lot of fun. He has his ukulele. He's a big ukulele fan, and just tours on the bus with his ukulele going in and starts singing, and she starts dancing. He's just like, yeah, that was probably a terrible impression, but no, he puts on the voice like that. Matty Connor, why did you give me this for? Matty Connor. See how he's busting, he wins a heart by busting out some ukulele vibes on it, and Annie was like, you better use your ukulele if you review this film. I am. It's got a bit of dust on it. Ugh. Anyway. But the thing is, the film jumps ahead and they really are struggling in a relationship, even when they have a voucher for a hotel room in the space of, and he just wants to have fun with his wife, and she's sort of not going there. And you can take it two different ways, this film, I think. You can say it's a downfall of, like, she kind of knows that her marriage is over, but she doesn't tell him that. And that's what I was saying before, when it leaves a little bit out, where he becomes an alcoholic really quickly, loses his hair quite quickly, which it does happen. One day you can have loads of hair, one day you go bald, whatever. And he is struggling to work out what's going on, and she's sort of not telling him straight or leading him on. It's sort of like, you can kind of see that, but it kind of misses out the reason why he ends up drunk all the time, because he's confused and doing his job and stuff like that and trying to raise a kid. There's a flip side with a kid's story. We don't know about that. We haven't seen this film. I think it's a well-made movie, but I will only watch this again in the right state of mind because of that. If you didn't know what you were going in for, like I didn't go in for, it's like, fuck, that's fucking really dark. So I think people should be warned that this film is quite depressing. It's beautifully filmed. I mean, I thought this was set somewhere, I was going to say Louisiana there with the next film was set, but I thought it was set in like middle America, and I didn't realise it was set around the New York area as well. And it uses that in, it's beautifully shot. There is a lot of loopholes left, but the performances of Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams are absolutely phenomenal in it. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. But don't think you're going to watch a motherfucking Notebook, that's for sure. Wow. Okay, last but not least, I've done a review for Blackwater. It's the second episode of Fast Forward Reviews. I think this review might come out before Darkwater does, even though Darkwater was filmed a year ago. It's been edited, you know, but, you know, they're all scheduled as part of a magazine thing, so can't do much about it. Bottom corner right there, there it is. That's the review of Darkwater. Just playing away there, the Three Little Monkeys. Play the Three Little Monkey bit, please.
Catch me. Along comes Mr. Crocodile, as wide as can be. Snap, snap, snap. It's a bit of a dark nursery rhyme. It's probably a good one for Australia.
Go away. I don't even know, the timing was right there with the whole snap, snap, snap thing, but Darkwater is a phenomenal film if you haven't seen it. And in that movie I made a joke and a reference because I had Redwater on VHS, I'd never seen it, and it was Redwater Taken because I called the film Blackwater. I had a bit of a rant why the film was called Blackwater, and as I say, I never had to rewind because I never watched it. This is a rental copy, and I actually found it on DVD, so this bit is Redwater. Now first off, what's awesome about Redwater, it's a red disc. How awesome is that? Absolutely class. It's class when I do discs like that, it's absolutely awesome. But yeah, Redwater. Got a flip cover. This film gets a lot of grief for a couple of reasons. One, it's a great white shark on the front cover when it's a bull shark in the film, and follows a trend that they borrowed, I don't know where this came first, so Deep Blue Sea. The license plate from Jaws that they pull out the shark's mouth is the same license plate in this, so it's on the Volkswagen in the car. There's a couple of things about it. This film was definitely made for television. Like really, you're watching it and it leaves you on a cliffhanger and yes, look at that, gone to black. So in the blackness you think, right, wait for it to fade back and wait. And then it fades back and there you go, I'm back. Keeps doing that every 15 minutes. You're like, wait, and fade to black. It's like watching the wrestling again when someone gets chucked over the top rope. You get advert.
Response, guys, there's no more magical place to be in Orlando right now than right here for this match.
Horsey! Horsey win! Horsey's won!
So Lou Diamond Phillips is in this, and Kirsty Swanson, who's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original one. She's proper hot in this as well. And then you've got fucking Coolio playing Ice. Coolio the gangster. Okay. The movie is very much like Anaconda, and Fuck My Life, one of the special features on that DVD is the trailer for Anaconda. So this is almost like the TV version, but the cashed it in. Great front cover, great selling point, you know, suckers like me do pick up shark films, even if it is shark attack free. Story, straight away you think you're in for it because like CGI explosion goes off and the shark appears straight away and you're like, fucking hell, you didn't fucking wait around to show the shark there, fucking minute hasn't even passed. It's like, what? But the shark is really like a backstory because it's mainly about the school. It's about two things. One, an oil rush up the river. And two, the gangsters want to find a box of money up the river. So the two combine to get up the river because the river's been shut off by the shark. And there's a couple of sharks attacks here and there. Mainly people go underwater and blood appears and everyone's like, ah! But that's, you know, that's the way to do it because they're on a fucking shark. Like on its side, like a bit of cardboard comes along and like this woman's on a bridge and she gets bitten by a shark. And you think, what the fuck? Did someone just fucking send a speedboat or something the other way? Like, what? What is that about? Anyway, performances are pretty strong, but every time, like, the good guys try to get away from the bad guys, they just fail miserably. They get out of the situation and they can't capitalise on it. He's got a gun pointed at his head. Can't even pull, like, it's not even can pull the trigger, something stupid happens. CGI is pretty terrible, but the practical shark effects in this are really good. There's a lot of stuff underwater. I mean, he gets attacked by the shark and he gets thrown around, and it's like, it's a real shark, you can tell you there, it's good that, especially when Coolio encounters a shark, you think, ah, Coolio, shark, worth watching for that. But no, I mean, it did take me 3 nights to watch this. I mean, another thing as well, she's on the back there, she's holding the tooth of the shark, one of the guys gets bitten by the shark, that's great white sharks. Fear strikes when you least expect it. It's a low budget shark movie, you know, I mean, it's not a bad movie in a way. You don't watch it thinking that you're going to watch a Deep Blue Sea kind of thing. It borrows a lot from Jaws, that every shark film does. But I say they use the practical shark effect quite well, you know. It's contained, you see the top of it going down there, chasing it, it's got a little bit of humour. But again, it seems to go back to the whole, it's all about finding gold, finding that, and then there's a shark and stuff like that. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, I thought I'd chuck it in this Baboonery, check it out. This wasn't actually even going to be in this Baboonery. It was going to be Welcome to the Jungle, but as I say, this has been a completely utter rant tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely check out Blackwater. Definitely check out Blue Valentine in the right situation. Texas Chainsaw, definitely check it out. Tekken, probably avoid unless you're an absolute die-hard fan, and then you'll probably hate it. And then Red Water, if you're a die-hard shark fan. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. An outtake for Baboonery. Another Welcome to the Jungle. This one's got Jean-Claude Van Damme in. Another Welcome to the Jungle. And I'm sure Van Damme's only in this as a glorified cameo. But yeah, another Welcome to the Jungle. So Jumanji's been out for ages now. I've chucked down my Simpsons t-shirt. Can't find my blue hat. But yeah, it's months later. New Shining tattoo. Because it's the very end of Baboonery. Before I start working on Baboonery, the next one. It's like, don't remember filming these videos. But there we go. It's better than fuck all, isn't it? Thanks for watching.